December 30th, 2000. A family of four goes to bed in Tokyo. By morning, they're all dead. But here's what makes this case truly horrifying. After murdering them, the killer didn't leave. He stayed in their house for hours. He ate their ice cream, used their computer, treated his wounds with their first aid kit, and took a nap on their sofa. He left behind his DNA, his fingerprints, his clothes, even his feces in their toilet. Police know exactly who he is genetically, but 24 years later, they still can't find him. This is the story of the Setagaya Family Murders. The Miyazawa family lived in the Setagaya ward of Tokyo, in a quiet neighborhood that was slowly disappearing. The city government was buying up houses to expand a nearby park, and most of their neighbors had already moved away. Mikio Miyazawa, 44, worked at a British marketing firm. His wife Yasuko, 41, was a tutor who taught neighborhood children. They had two kids, 8-year-old Nina and 6-year-old Ray. On December 30th, the family spent a normal day together. They went shopping at a local arcade near Chito's Karasuyama station. They came home, had dinner, and watched television. At 10:38 p.m., Mikio logged into his password-protected email. That was the last known activity by anyone in the family. Yasuko's mother, who lived next door, said goodnight to Nina when she came over to watch TV that evening. It was the last time anyone saw them alive. Sometime after 10:38 p.m., an intruder climbed a fence behind the house and removed the screen from a second-floor bathroom window. He entered silently. Police believe he went straight to 6-year-old Ray's bedroom. Unlike the others, Ray was strangled. No knife, just hands around the child's throat. Then came a sound. Perhaps Ray made a noise. Perhaps the killer knocked something over. Mikio heard it. He went upstairs to investigate. On those stairs, he confronted the intruder. A fight broke out. The killer stabbed Mikio repeatedly with a sashimi knife. He stabbed him so violently that the blade broke off inside Mikio's skull. Mikio's body was found at the bottom of the stairs. The killer grabbed a kitchen knife from the house and went to the third floor. There he found Yasuko and Nina. He attacked them with such brutality that Yasuko's bones were visible through her wounds. By midnight, the entire family was dead. And then something bizarre happened. The killer didn't leave. What happened next is what makes this case unlike any other in Japanese history. The killer stayed in that house for somewhere between 2 to 10 hours. He was injured during the attack and bleeding heavily, so he used the family's first aid kit to bandage his wounds. When that wasn't enough, he used Yasuko's sanitary pads to try to stop the bleeding. Then he got hungry. He went to the kitchen, opened the refrigerator, and ate 4 containers of ice cream. He drank several bottles of barley tea. He sat at their computer and surfed the internet at 1:18 a.m. He used their toilet and didn't flush, leaving his feces behind. He ransacked the house, dumping belongings and paperwork into the bathtub. Some reports suggest he even fell asleep on their sofa. He left behind everything: his sweater, his shoes, his bag, his knife, his DNA, his fingerprints. More evidence than investigators had ever seen at a crime scene. The next morning, December 31st, Yasuko's mother came over to check on the family. At 10:40 a.m., she discovered their bodies. Police immediately had more clues than they knew what to do with. They found type A blood that didn't belong to the family. DNA analysis revealed the killer was male, possibly mixed race. His mother was likely of European descent, possibly from a country near the Mediterranean or Adriatic Sea. His father was East Asian, with DNA markers appearing in 1 in 4 or 5 Koreans, 1 in 10 Chinese, and 1 in 13 Japanese. The clothes he left behind had only been on sale for 2 months before the murders. Police tracked down 130 of those sweaters sold in Tokyo, but could only locate the owners of 12. They found traces of bird droppings, Japanese Okova tree leaves, and willow leaves in the pockets. 3 kinds of fluorescent dye on the shoes. The knife had been purchased at a supermarket near Kichijoji Station, 2 stops away. They even had surveillance footage of someone matching the killer's description buying the knife before the murders. With all this evidence, police created a profile. They knew his age range, his ethnicity, what he wore, what he bought, where he shopped. They offer a reward of 20 million yen, the largest in Japanese history, equivalent to over $150,000 today. But none of it mattered. So how does someone leave behind their DNA, fingerprints, clothes, and feces and still never get caught? There are theories. Some believe the killer was connected to a nearby U.S. military base and left Japan immediately after murders. Others think he was North Korean and fled the country. A handkerchief found at the scene may have been tied in a style common in certain Philippine communities, leading police to investigate there. But the most likely explanation is simpler and more frustrating. Japan's DNA database in 2000 was extremely limited. If the killer had no prior criminal record in Japan, his DNA wouldn't be in the system. And if he left the country shortly after, he'd be impossible to find. The case became so infamous that it helped change Japanese law. Until 2010, Japan had a statute of limitations on murder. If you weren't caught within 15 to 25 years, you couldn't be prosecuted, even if you confessed. The Setagaya murders helped abolish that law. Without that change, the killer would have been able to legally confess this year, without consequences. Today, the house where the Miyazawas died has been demolished, though the evidence has been preserved. Posters of the faceless killer still hang outside police boxes across Tokyo. Yasuko's mother died without seeing justice for her daughter and grandchildren. Police continue to search. Somewhere out there, a man knows he murdered a family of four on New Year's Eve. He knows he stayed in their house for hours afterward, eating their food and sleeping on their furniture. He knows police have his DNA. He might even know they're still looking for him. And unless someone comes forward, unless that DNA finally matches something in a database somewhere in the world, he might never be found. If you have any information about the Setagaya Family Murders, the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department is still accepting tips. The 20 million yen reward still stands.